fucked up, man. I can't believe this.
It's over, isn't it, McShill?
It's over, man. It's all f***ing over. Battlefield and Arc Raiders is destroying us, and there's nothing we can do.
Team numbers don't matter!
You know, ladies and gentlemen, this has to be one of the most tired excuses in gaming right now, and it always comes up every time it's a video game like this. We have a situation going on with Call of Duty Black Ops 7 that we're going to go through in this video today, and it's mainly the cope that's surrounding it, where they're bringing back their tried old true, always thinks it works excuse whenever it comes to a video game that is clearly degrading in their franchise. And that is none other than the Steam numbers don't matter. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that tired excuse that we hear literally all the time, Steam numbers don't matter unless they, fits their narrative, but Steam numbers don't matter. And I'm so sick of it. So one thing I want to bring up is this. The fact that, number one, you say that Steam numbers don't matter, but do you really understand the scope of which Steam actually has in terms of a user base? Just so that you guys are aware for this particular video, and just to give you a little bit of context, Steam has about 154 million registered active users as of April 2025. PlayStation has around 120, give or take, a couple of million, 120 million active users as of November of 2025. Now, this entire situation is not to be a dig at PlayStation or anything. I'm just telling you that people that try to downplay Steam numbers and try to make it seem as if they don't matter are living in some weird bubble of console superiority that is just no longer the case and hasn't been the case for a little while now. Now, regardless of all that being said, play where you want to play. I don't care. The point is, Steam numbers absolutely do matter. And to be fair, they're the only numbers that we actually have. It's the only company that actually wants to be transparent in the numbers that is on their platform and how many people are actually playing whatever particular video game that we're talking about. Now, we're talking about Black Ops 7. This person, I have no idea who this is. This particular tweet just came across my homepage, like I'm sure it came across a lot of you guys' homepage, from a person called T-Dog, and it says the following. If I see one more Steam chart talking about Black Ops 7, ain't no one playing Call of Duty on Steam. Now, this is massive levels of cope, okay? I could go through the comments, 310 plus comments, but people are calling them out and they're like, bro, you're absolutely off your shit on this one. I love Black Ops 7, but you're downright wrong to say this. Now, I want to go over the numbers really quick before we go over my tweet response to this. This is the current numbers right now for Black Ops 7. In 24 hours, as of the end of today, it hit an all-time peak of 100,332. For those of you that are unaware, Call of Duty combines all their titles, which is why this number is as high as this, but that was 3 years ago, and this was a recent release. If we click the max button here, we're going to see Black Ops 7 release date right here, and then 100,332, with 59,000 players playing right now at the time of filming this video. Now, why is this important? Why is any of this important? And it's because there is a very clear degradation of franchise that we are seeing here. There is massive levels of cope from people that try to say, number one, Steam numbers don't matter, or my second favorite one, and everybody's going to be screaming this in the comments, I already know this, it's on Game Pass. Yeah, well, guess what? Black Ops 6 was also on Game Pass, and you know what it did on Steam? It did 315,334 concurrent players, okay? Black Ops 7 is 1/3 of what Black Ops 6 was not even 1 year ago. That is a massive, massive drop off for Steam. Now, if you're going to be out there coping and thinking that for some reason all these PC players decided to leave PC and go to Xbox to go play Black Ops 7 on Game Pass, I highly doubt it. Obviously, there are some Steam players out there that do have Game Pass, but the majority of them are going to choose to play on Steam if they could play on Steam. Why would they buy Black Ops 6 when it was on Game Pass when they could just buy Black Ops 7 is also on Game Pass? They clearly chose not to do so. So 2/3 of the customer base has completely abandoned the game on Steam, okay? And you're going to have people like this try to claim that the Steam numbers don't matter, which is absolute cope. Now, I responded with the following. Black Ops 6 1 year ago cleared 300,000 concurrent players on Steam. Black Ops 7 just barely cracked 100K. When you scale this, this is an insane amount of copies not sold from previous customers. Let me guess, all those players went to Game Pass somehow? Yeah, okay. Black Ops 6 also released on Game Pass and still blew these numbers out the water. Black Ops 6 lost $300 million from Microsoft. And you can look this up, by the way. Microsoft has admitted that Black Ops 6 lost $300 million in sales for Microsoft by going to Game Pass. That is a massive, massive number. And sure, they might have made it up in microtransactions. I don't know because they're not transparent. But maybe they did, maybe they didn't. But what I do know for a fact is that they lost $300 million by putting the game on Game Pass, okay? Anybody with a brain can see that, because if you have the option to play this game on Game Pass versus paying for it, of course you're going to play it on Game Pass if you're an Xbox user, right? That just makes sense. Now, with all this being said, though, I want you guys to understand something. Black Ops 6 being at the number that it was, and Black Ops 7 being at the current number that it is, there is no doubt that there is hundreds of thousands, if not over 1 million copies not sold compared to what it was before. And also keep in mind, if Black Ops 6 lost $300 million to Microsoft for going to Game Pass, and this game was at 315,000 on Steam with verified actual sold copies, what the hell is Black Ops 7 doing at 1/3 of the number? How much money is Black Ops 7 going to be losing at 1/3 of the number because they don't have all of those retail copies sold that they had on Steam not even just 1 year ago? Clearly, there's going to be a big money hit going on here. And if you do want to say, well, okay, everybody's just using their Game Pass accounts to play the game instead, well, that's not doing anything in terms of copies sold. That's doing nothing. All you're doing is just maintaining the ecosystem that you already have, but you're not really gaining anything. I am a firm believer that Black Ops 6 was a Game Pass seller, but I don't think Black Ops 7 is a Game Pass seller. I think Black Ops 7 is a Game Pass maintainer. Be people who wanted to play Black Ops or just Call of Duty in general for supposedly free by utilizing Game Pass, they would have did it with Black Ops 6, and chances are they maintain their subscription, so they're just maintaining their player base. This is not looking good, okay? And compared to games like Battlefield 6, obviously, people are going to compare it to Battlefield 6. That has a 24-hour peak of almost 300,000 players, and this is even with Arc Raiders, by the way, hitting a brand new all-time peak 8 hours ago, still somehow rising every single day, hitting 481,966. These two games together are absolutely destroying Call of Duty, and I understand that the people that have been shilling for Call of Duty for many years have just a very hard time understanding that they're just not the top dog anymore, right? Call of Duty coming out every year used to be a yearly event. They use FOMO marketing to generate sales. It just doesn't work anymore, right? People are not looking forward to Call of Duty in the same way that they were not even just a couple of years ago. Even if you go back to Modern Warfare 3, for example, that released in 2023, this game hit an all-time peak of 190,707. That is way better than what they're at now with Black Ops 7, even though Black Ops 6 did over 100,000 plus more than Modern Warfare 3. So where the hell did all these players go? Both of these games were on Game Pass, so it's very clear that a massive amount of PC users have completely checked out of Call of Duty. Now, I know you're going to say, well, that's exactly what he's saying. Nobody's playing it on Steam. Yeah, that might be true, but the thing is here, people have decided to check out for a reason. And are you okay with your franchise losing over 1 million plus units sold simply because you hate PC gaming or you think nobody cares about Steam? No, what it is that people have realized that there are options now, and that's really what is affecting this game. The options of Arc Raiders, the options of Battlefield 6, hell, even the options of indie games out there. There are so many video games that are amazing right now that people are choosing to play. Black Ops 7 is not the one that people are choosing to play, in a mass amount anyway. Now, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you and tell you that 100,000 players is not monetizable. Of course it is, right? They're going to make decent money up front by selling the copies that they sold, and they're going to hope to God that they can make up the rest through microtransactions. This is what Call of Duty's model is, and I guess they're figuring if they could hoard the game out on Game Pass, the amount of people that come in on Game Pass, hopefully they buy some skins or whatever the case would be. That's what they're really banking on. I don't know if it worked out for them on the first round, but I'll tell you this, whether it did or it did not, they're going to have a hell of a harder time this time around because people are just choosing not to buy this game nowhere near the amount that they were buying the last one, and that was just 1 year ago. So my response, again, I said that was 300,000 concurrent players on Steam, way more actual real copies sold. How much money did Black Ops 7 lose them if Black Ops 6 lost $300 million up front for Game Pass if the real numbers are so low? Do you think all these Steam players left PC to go play on console instead or something? To ignore the obvious degradation of franchise here will never help the franchise in the long term. Call of Duty still has plenty of players to monetize, but there is indeed a big loss of players. You can blame the game on being stale, you can blame Battlefield, you can blame Arc Raiders, you can blame anything you want, but it is indeed happening, and trying basically to pretend like it's not is ridiculous. You're not helping these companies by shilling. You're not helping these organizations by shilling. You might think you are, right? By gaining your access and maintaining your access or whatever the hell it is. But at the end of the day, man, these companies are going to get hurt by listening to people that are telling them everything is fine when things are clearly on fire. If you are a Call of Duty fan, nobody's telling you can't enjoy the game. Go play the game. I have no problems with that. Play what you want. That is fine. But what I'm telling you is that to be out here pretending as if things are not looking bad as the numbers are slowly dwindling just because they're on Steam and nobody else, just an FYI, nobody else has numbers, okay? Nobody else will give you numbers. Circana's not going to give you numbers. Nobody's going to give you numbers. Steam is the only numbers that you're going to have, and if they were relevant here in order to cheer because it's that over 300,000 players, then they damn sure can be relevant here. Just because they low doesn't make them any less relevant. So again, guys, not only that, the Steam forums are blowing up, by the way, just to have a little bit of a laugh here. The amount of trolling that is happening on the Steam forums for Black Ops 7 is hilarious. Apparently, Activision is hiding reviews, right? This person says, hello, everyone. I want to tell you that Activision is hiding reviews in Black Ops 7. I'm the one who wrote one of the most voted reviews, over 8,000 likes and over 500 points awarded until yesterday. It came up first when you search for reviews, both mine and those of players who are also very relevant. Today, I found that they are not there. Neither mine nor the others that had several interactions, they are simply not there. So if that's true, that is obviously very bad. Let's laugh at everybody that bought Black Ops 7. Premium Goy Slop. I just refunded Black Ops 7. It's fucking unplayable with packet burst. I played Black Ops 6, Modern Warfare 3 and 2, and never faced this issue. I guess I'm gonna buy Battlefield 6, right? So clearly people are having a lot of problems with this game. There's a lot of damage control over on the Steam forums. Every time I refresh the Steam forums, there are certain threads that go missing all the time. Like, this is nothing new. This happens every time there's something that releases that's controversial, and this is no different. At the end of the day, man, play what you want to play. Both of these games have a right to exist, in my opinion. I've always said that. The player base that is looking for a certain game is going to play Battlefield 6. Same thing with Call of Duty. One is fast-paced. One is more team-based. One is more objective-based. That is just what it is, and they have both a right to exist. But to pretend as if one is clearly not being affected by the others, well, you're just being ignorant at that point, and you just don't want to admit it. That's really what it is. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below about this entire situation. What do you think about this comment? Do the Steam numbers don't matter? Do they not matter? Or is this guy absolutely coping? Let me know in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you have played Black Ops 7, please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Negative or positive, I don't care. Sound off in the comments. Let me know what you think about the game. And I will see you guys on the next one.